Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis and Arundel County and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, September 9th, 2020. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. While there were no bumps in the bus transportation for Anne Arundel County Public Schools yesterday on the first day of school, the same can't quite be said for a U.S. government class at Arundel High in Gambrels. A question popped up on their online learning, which posed a question to the students about the principles of government. The question read, LeBron James is pulled over and arrested for possession of an illegal narcotic. Joe Smith is pulled over and arrested for possession of an illegal narcotic. Sheriff Bateman is pulled over and released even though there was an illegal narcotic in his car. Which principle of government is being violated in the scenario above? Well, in case nobody told, Anne Arundel County Public Schools Sheriff Ron Bateman is no longer the sheriff of Anne Arundel County. He lost his election in 2018 and is now a private citizen, and his name never should have been used in the question. In a letter sent home to parents yesterday, Principal Gina Davenport said, in part, life is full of teachable moments, and this is one for our entire team. We pride ourselves on our ability to help students understand their place as global citizens. We have done tremendous work over the years to promote social justice and cultivate students who are compassionate, accepting, tolerant, who work hard to help develop communities that exhibit those values. We are not perfect, and in this case, we fell short. Now, Arundel High was the pilot school for the now mandatory Global Community Citizenship course, which is now in place in all high schools. The genesis of that program was the rise of bullying and biases in the school community. So we've got a little bit of irony going on there. Following up on a story we brought you yesterday about the abduction of two children up in Pasadena. Good news on this one. Yesterday, early afternoon, the Anne Arundel County Police Department had identified the suspect as a 46-year-old Millersville man, and by the end of the day, he was in custody. So another great job for the men and women in blue. And another great job goes out to Anne Arundel Medical Center. The Human Rights Campaign has recognized Anne Arundel Medical Center for the third year in a row as a leader in the LGBTQ healthcare equity. They did earn a top score of 100 out of 100 on the 2020 Healthcare Equity Index. So congratulations to Anne Arundel Medical Center. Once again, yet another reason to be thankful for Anne Arundel Medical Center and to be able to have such a great quality hospital right here in our own backyards. A recent spike in coronavirus infections has put Maryland on Connecticut, New Jersey, and New York's S list. I guess maybe it's called a C list for a COVID list. But if you are traveling to any of those states, you will need to isolate for 14 days. This comes less than a week after Governor Hogan moved Maryland into stage 3 of the coronavirus recovery plan. Now, to make it on that list, you do need to do one of two things. Have an average of more than 10 new cases per 100,000 residents per day over a rolling 7 days, or an average positivity rate of more than 10% over a rolling 7 days. Maryland's weekly average of 10.34 coronavirus infections per 100,000 people was the culprit that bounced us up onto those lists. And just a little bit of yucky COVID news today, and spoiler alert, it is a little bit yucky, but restaurants are not the only businesses struggling. Retail is facing some significant challenges, and they are only going to get worse. We've seen large and small stores close with and without notice, and there are more to come, so what does the future look like? Yesterday afternoon, we hopped on the phone with Dr. Brian Marks, who is a nationally known expert in retail bankruptcies, unemployment, and the recent PPP loans. He's the executive director of the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program and the coordinator of the Pompea College of Business at New Haven University in Connecticut. His thoughts were sobering, and if you thought retail would return to normal, you are wrong. If you are a business owner who thinks you have it all under control, you probably ought to listen to that bonus podcast, which was released last night at about 9 p.m. All right, that's the last of the bad COVID news. Now we're going to pivot, and I really hate that word, into some good COVID news. But when COVID did hit Maryland last March, the Annapolis Symphony Orchestra was in the heat of it, and they had to stop immediately. Well, they have, here's that word again, pivoted, and they have now Symphony Plus. Now, this is really very cool. Everything's going virtual. This is powered by Vimeo Over the Top, which is a separate little sub-platform of Vimeo, and it has 3 unique components: ASO Live, with an exclamation point, ASO Replay, and ASO Chat. ASO Live is a live stream of every concert in the 2020-21 Masterworks series. The ASO Replay is the ability to replay those ASO Live ones. And the ASO Chats is a pre-concert talk. They're 45 minutes long. They discover history, musical examples, stories, anecdotes, and all sorts of things there. You can get an all-access household pass for Symphony Plus for just $99. It'll take you through the whole season. That does include ASO Live, so you can watch them live, as well as replay. You can watch it when you want, and the chats. If you want to get a single show, ASO Live is available. A household ticket, again, it's just $49. You want to get tickets? Head on over to AnnapolisSymphony.org/virtual series, or you can give the box office a call at 410-263-0907. All right, that does wrap it up for us today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day for updates to these stories and more. Please let your friends, family, and colleagues know about the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, how to get a hold of it, how to subscribe to it, and make sure that if you are someplace that you can leave us a rating or a review, please do that as well. Okay, now hang tight. We have George Young standing by. He's got your local DCMD VA weather forecast. All of that's coming up in 1 minute. But first, here is Rick Peters from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMD VA weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMD VA weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMD VA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Wednesday, September 9th. Yesterday brought yet another nice sunny day to the Annapolis region, but today will likely be a bit of a different story with tons of clouds expected and an increasing chance of showers and storms as the day progresses, as an area of storminess just off to the south-southeast moves up the coast into the mid-Atlantic region. And that area of storminess will last through much of Thursday with fairly nice days expected on the whole, both Friday and Saturday, with highs near 80 each day, before a chance of rain returns for Sunday into Monday. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMD VA Weather. Make it a great day out there today. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DCMD VA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores. And also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and use our website each day at dcmdvaweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Have you ever been to the Annapolis Mall when it opens for the day? Maybe you've noticed the line of folks waiting to get into the Apple Store. As you may know, I'm a Mac user, and today's episode of the Daily News Brief, in fact, all of the episodes of the Daily News Brief have been produced right here on my Mac computer. What you might not know about is MacMedics. They were founded here in Annapolis in 1989, and they are an Apple-authorized premium service provider, the only one in the Baltimore, Annapolis, D.C. area. And what that means to you is that they repair all Apple devices, including the iPhone screens and batteries, all without an appointment. And most repairs are done the same day, usually within 2 hours. They also sell everything except the iPhone and the watch for the same price as Apple. I don't know why you would go anywhere else. Give them a call at 410-757-MACS, or if you're not into the whole letter thing, 410-757-6227. Stop by their retail store in Severna Park on Benfield Road or their service center in Lanham, right off of Route 50. Or you can always check them out online at macmedics.com. I'll tell you, they've saved me quite a few times, and I know they can save you.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.